Welcome back to Marvelous Mates. I'm your host, Skylar, and today I'm joined with my friend Will. Will, how are you doing?
I am absolutely fantastic, and I'll never tell you otherwise. Yes, I will say that every time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. We only ever want to be fantastic.
No.
Or not.
No.
Okay.
Yes. No, that's okay. You can do that. Absolutely. Take it as you will. That's my favorite saying.
Can you give us a brief description of your job and your job title? What do you want to be known as by the people?
I have many titles. I go by many names, but I am the one who stretches. I'm a stretch practitioner at Stretch Zone. I'm also a regional manager, so I have a lot of different titles and roles and things that I do. So which one do you want to more specifically go into?
Probably the act of stretching, really getting your hands in there, you know?
Yeah, I if I ever stretch somebody like this, I would be very concerned. Actually, you know what? That's a thing, by the way. We can't grab people traditionally. It makes the stretch really uncomfortable. You actually have to apply like stretches with open palms and like avoid like grabbing their spots. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that. Look at you.
Well, like, let me see your wrist real quick.
Like,
so if I like grab your wrist, like, and I put like pressure.
That's very threatening.
Well, not only that it's threatening, but you have like sensitive parts or trigger points throughout the body that like if I grab in the wrong spot and I move you around, you're going to feel like discomfort. Where if I like go to move you with like an open hand,
okay.
Okay.
Fair
You never
enough.
think about those things, but like, have you ever had someone grab you and you're like, ooh, like, why'd you do this? I mean, for obvious reasons. If a stranger does that to you, please
call an adult or the police.
But go ahead. Sorry.
So today we're drinking I'm going to call this the bruised ankle.
Oh, that's exactly what they look
color.
like.
Yeah. That's what I'm going for. So, cheers.
Thank you so much. That is really good. I like it. Oh,
it's 100% liquor.
It tastes like butterscotch, like that's 100% liquor. Mm-hmm. It's really easy.
That is dark rum and butterscotch schnapps. That is all that is.
It's like really easy to drink.
I know. It's nice to sip on.
It's what I call in the business dangerous.
So let's let's hop right into this first shot. This is the.
So which one is it?
This is the Bananarama.
Oh, we got bananas out here.
Yeah, you can assume it's not apples.
Well, I'm all yellow today. Better this time than I had it the other time.
Oh yeah, that's something I should acknowledge. Yeah, this is going to be the second go around of William. I'm sorry to put you through this twice.
I wasn't good enough the first time.
Somebody forgot to press record. This guy.
I can't even look at you with a straight face. But go ahead. What's up?
Yeah. Does your knowledge of anatomy, because I know you're pretty knowledgeable when you go back and forth with Alexa a lot, you know, on like the medical side of things. Do you find that helps you with your stretching?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Anatomy is like the most fundamental knowledge that you need to have when working on people's bodies.
Yeah.
As a stretcher, what we tend to work on is only soft tissue, muscle, tendon, ligament, which is essentially that I'm alluding to. Not like connective tissue, which is like blood vessels, for example, right? So we're working with stuff that can be stressed and resets on a daily. We're not popping bones. We're not chiropractors. It's not what we do. But essentially, like, having a intimate understanding of the human body is essential for us, not only being able to do our job, but being able to do it successfully to where people enjoy the service, right? Because it's not enough to know what I'm moving and how. It's knowing, if I put pressure here, is this going to hurt? How do I avoid this? Right? And there are certain examples, like if I stretch someone's glute, for example, they can get a pinch on the inside of their hip. Their hip flexor can get impinged. It's basically when a bone puts pressure on a muscle or soft tissue area that you feel is like super discomforting. So like if you get out of the car and you're like, ooh, that feels weird, and it's like on the inside of your groin or something like that, that's an impingement. Not everybody has one, but it can be really uncomfortable and you don't want to feel it. Huh. So it's like understanding those things.
Identification, being able to like point things out.
Yeah, there's like 3 levels of understanding that to to my understanding, is that you have like the general knowledge of the body, right? Anatomy. This is what this bone is. This is my humerus. This is my radius. This is my ulna. This is my femur. This is my tibia. Those kinds of things, like those are bones. If we're talking about like my quadricep, my hamstring, my calf, which they're more technical terms, obviously. But for the sake of people who aren't in it, there's no point in going over what they are. But then the next layer is like, how do they move? Mm-hmm. What puts pressure on what? So where are the insertions of the muscles, right? What are they affecting, right? Mm-hmm. That's the next level of understanding. Then the last level of understanding is, what does this mean for somebody else, right? How do I diagnose this in such a way that somebody's going to understand what I mean when I say, hey, you have a hip flexor problem, and that's why you have pain when you lay on your back, mm-hmm. right? The most doctors who are super technical, they're going to tell you exactly what your iliopsoas is applying more pressure to your lumbar spine around the third day.
I can't even pronounce that word.
So there's that, and then there is, hey, like there's an injured muscle in the front of your hip that is putting too much pressure on your back when you lay down, mm-hmm. and you weren't able to figure this out because it's very hard to get to.
Yeah.
Right. It's those are the three layers of understanding of like, to this work in particular, they apply to most other things as well.
Yeah.
So, if that answers your question.
Yeah. No. I could only. I mean, obviously, the answer to that would be yes, of course. I mean, because you're dealing with moving people around, and you could hurt people if you really are not knowledgeable of
100%.
Like, what you're doing. Definitely hurt people.
I know more than enough times. I can't count the amount of people who come into our facilities and have been injured somehow, some way by a chiropractor. Mind you, I do not disparage chiropractors, number one. But it just happens to be that there's a lot of people who practice, and some people do get hurt from their practices. Sure. So
it looks violent.
Have you seen like the TikToks and the
skeleton?
Yeah. That's got to be like one of my favorite jokes. I want to be able to do it. It's like, all right, here we go. We're time for the adjustment.
Just folds him. Yeah. So it's not too far off. Mm-hmm. It's funny when they do the jerk on the head, and you're like, oh my god, god.
I really dislike that. Like what you're referring to is the towel or Y strap method.
Yeah.
The point is, there are two things actually, which is fun education: traction and distraction. Mm-hmm. So when you see somebody in a neck brace, that's traction. That's a long period of time of separation between the joints that you're trying to separate. Distraction is short term. So like if I pulled your head rather than having a neck brace, that's distraction. The point of both those things is to increase the space between your vertebra, right, to limit pressure, inflammation, other things like that. Sure. That's why when you pull, you feel like a release, and it should feel good.
Yeah. But
there are other things that can happen when you do that. So it's not a big fan of the practice. Absolutely. I'll pull my finger.
Pull their finger off.
Oh man.
Oh man! All right, let's hop into this next one. This is a lemon drop. It should be very, very.
You're dropping
good.
My lemons.
Yes.
I'm too yellowy today. I'm having a hard time.
It's a lot of
getting
liquid.
The shots down today. I'm struggling.
They're 2 ounces, not an ounce.
I need to stretch out my throat.
All right. Really, 2 shots and relax.
You can see the humor that we have.
What makes your job different from a physical therapist?
So, physical therapy, number one, are you talking about like doing physical therapy or being licensed to be able to do it? There's a distinction.
Explain.
Okay, sorry. So most physical therapists now, well, you used to need just a master's degree to be a physical therapist. Mm-hmm. Now it's it's not a PhD, but it's essentially graduate school to become. Master's is graduate school, but you need to earn a doctorate of physical therapy to become a physical therapist now, to essentially run a practice or to be able to process scripts, which is for insurance. Essentially, like when you go to a physical therapist's office, usually you have a referral from a physician, which is your doctor. It could be your primary care or your orthopedic. These are the people who see you about your bones, your arms, your legs. When you think sports injuries, like, oh, I blew out my ACL, you go to see your orthopedic. from there, essentially, they figure out, number one, what kind of treatment that you need. Whether it's like, hey, kid, just take some Advil and you'll be okay, versus like, all right, you're going to need a little extra work or we need surgery. They will write a script for physical therapy. Now, there are clinics that will take you without a script, right? But you have to pay out of pocket.
Right.
If you want your insurance to pay, you have to go through a series of steps, which the insurance approves, which is typically like an MRI and other things along the point. Sometimes they'll send you there first. Ooh.
There you go. I heard it.
It's starting to get it
stuck for a minute.
A physical therapist has a select range of services, let's call them. They're really called modalities, but things that they offer in order to help somebody get to a goal.
Okay.
Right? I got a hip surgery. I have a hip replacement. I want to be able to walk again. Okay. For a hip replacement, the insurance allows us to do X, Y, and Z up until for so many visits until you're able to walk again. Yada, yada, yada. Or if you would need more. That's physical therapy. To work with us, all you need is a credit card and a pulse.
Oh, easy.
No, but
Ease
on
of
a serious ease of access, ease of stretching.
Yeah.
On a serious note, the reason why somebody should work with us is when the scope of your orthopedic or physical therapist don't meet what you're looking for, right? A lot of people have joint pain. A lot of people have other issues like sciatic, plantar fasciitis, smaller ailments that don't require surgery or any real action other than like, oh, I need my body stretched out so that way it feels better. If you have plantar fasciitis and you go to your podiatrist, he's going to tell you to change the shoes that you wear, right, or put insoles, right? But that's not really getting at the problem. It's either the way you move or your muscles, essentially. So, or if you have inflammation, that's another thing. But there's actually a lot of things that can happen with the body, but for the sake of simplicity. And I say, okay, well, why don't you come stretch with us? I'll actually work on the muscle and see if the issue goes away. And if it does, then we keep doing something like this, where an orthopedic would just tell you, take anti-inflammatories or like go do PT or surgery.
Yeah. Would it be safe to say that the stretching is a step below like physical therapy? For something that's not as serious, or maybe not.
Sure.
Or easier to solve, I guess. Than
I wouldn't. It depends, right? Now, are we on the same level of education as physical therapists? Absolutely not. Most people that we employ, and I say we because I'm part of the recruiting process, is that people who are on their way from undergrad school to graduate school. So if you are in a particular area, because Stretchone is a nationwide company, and you are just finished with your exercise physiology degree, and you want to find a great place to work up until you start PT school, and that's why I'm looking at it, because I'm actually talking to you, because somehow it ended up in your hands. I'm actually, Jared, I'm talking about you.
He called him out.
I actually don't know a Jared, but there's going to be a Jared that watches this one day. Essentially, if you're looking for a place to work to get skills, learn bedside manner, and understand the body a little bit better, Stretchone's a fantastic place to work to acquire those skills, learn how to deal with people, learn certain parts of the body, and how to treat them moving forward as you go on for your PT degree. So education-wise, we are a step below, yes. Quality of outcome, it's all over the place. Some people go to PT, not naming certain companies that start with a Q, that we're on fire today, that don't provide such a great quality of outcome that we provide better quality of outcomes for. So it's not clear. It's not we fix problems very well when it comes to the things that we're good at.
Yeah.
Right. Other stuff that we're not good at, PT's probably better at. That's typically what I would say. Plus, it's just a different scope of issues, right? Nobody's getting a surgery and coming to us and being like, make me walk again.
Yeah. Different responsibilities, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. Cool. This is the kamikaze.
It's looking pretty cloudy.
Yeah.
Is that what happens after somebody crashes?
The lime juice is
It's a
separated.
kamikaze. That's what happens.
Yeah. Woo.
I like that one. It's different. I like bittery stuff though.
Yeah, the lime is really on the back end of that. How do you handle someone that tries to get a little frisky with you during a stretch? Because I know it can be a sensual experience. You've stretched me, and I'm
boy.
like, ooh.
Oh, boy.
It can be very sensual.
The good thing is that we have, number one, we have an open concept. So what that means is, if you've ever been to like a traditional massage place, not even like a massage parlor, like, I don't know, like a big name company, Hand and Stone, Massage Envy, any of those companies, you know that you're walking in, you're going into a back room, you're getting changed, you're laying down on a table, somebody's working with you behind
Things
closed
may
doors.
or may not happen.
No, I'm not even going to speak to that. There's a wonderful person named Robert Kraft who's tried it and gotten in trouble. So,
Okay.
if you know what I'm talking about. Now that being said, open concept means that when you walk by our facility, all our tables are out in the open. Nobody's getting put behind closed doors. Right. Nobody that we're working with is going to be like, "Ooh, it's just you and I."
Yeah, you don't give them the opportunity.
Right.
Unless they're really ballsy.
Well, so you almost have to be more courageous to really like put something out there, like, because people are people, right?
Sure.
And people are going to shoot their shot.
As they do. As they do.
And there's plenty of like personal stories I can tell with like certain types of people, whether it be myself or other people that I've worked with that have had to deal with certain issues. Oh God, which one do you want, man? All right, do you want the juicy that somebody actually got in trouble story?
I want both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, go nuts.
So they come from two different sides of the story. One comes from hiring, and the other one comes from working with a client.
Okay.
Which one do you want first?
It's your hiring. Let's hear
Hiring.
the
Okay.
employee.
It's my claim to fame. I love this story.
That's
So
a good sign.
I was hiring said individual. Said individual, this was during the height of COVID, where we did have mask requirements, and we were wearing masks inside the facility, and I could not take people within the facility if they were not wearing masks, as per guideline with everything that we were lining up with, however people feel about that. As people were coming into the facility, I had an appointment for an interview. This guy that came in, and he was applying for the position, showed up probably about 15 to 20 minutes late with no notice, no text, no nothing. I tried calling him, no answer. So I was already kind of irritated. Like, you're starting off on a bad foot. Sure. Like, don't show up. First of all, this is like a general recommendation for everybody. If you show up 15 to 20 minutes late to your own interview without communicating with the interviewer, you're probably not getting that job. Never go back. Never talk to that person again.
That's fair advice.
Yes.
I mean, a good practice is 15 minutes early.
Wild.
Whoa! Who could have known that?
No, if I'm hiring somebody and they show up 15 minutes late and they don't text me, like, they could be the best candidate in the world. I'm telling you to go kick rocks. I'm very particular about that.
I'm sure. No,
Yeah.
that's aggravating as hell.
That being said, so he's already late. I'm already ticked off. I'm like, okay, buddy. Then he shows up with no mask. I'm like, okay, like, go walk to the back. I'll walk outside. We're gonna talk. Then he proceeded to spend about like 15 to 30 minutes of what would be interviewing time trying to sell me on the fact that we should put like a cryotherapy unit within the facility. Cryotherapy is liquid nitrogen that's
No, I know what it is, but yeah. But why?
I don't know. I think he was trying to get a job and got lost. But what ended up happening was he spent about... Is that you or is that me?
That might be me.
Oh, how dare you! On your own podcast. No, that's it. Hey,
It wasn't even me, so ha.
you even interrupted the story. We're going for sippies now. It's a party foul. So, needless to say, he spent his 30 minutes of interviewing time not talking about himself or why he should want the job or anything. So, it was awkward. And I had my regional... At the time, I was not a regional manager. At the time, I was just a general manager of one particular store. I had the structure above me give me a call. What did you think about this guy? His resume looked fantastic. He's actually overqualified. And I go, that was the weirdest time I've ever had. I never want to go near this guy again. We're not hiring him.
Yeah.
2 weeks pass. So I get... No. a little bit, like 3 weeks to about a month pass, and I get a phone call from the same regional, the person who was above me. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Hey, do you remember so-and-so?" I go, like, "Yeah." It was like super weird interview. He's like, she goes, "You're going to love what I have for you." Oh, and I go, "Why?" I never wanted to see the guy again, so I was genuinely interested in like what was going on. So she goes, "So he went off to interview with somebody else. He interviewed with a franchisee," which, if you guys aren't aware of like how businesses work, McDonald's is a franchise, right? A business owner can buy a McDonald's and run it if they want to, and they're using McDonald's name to make money, right? So when you drive down the street, you see McDonald's. It's not actually owned by McDonald's. It's owned by a small business. Some of them can be corporate, but there's a difference between like a franchise and a corporate store. Yeah. Right? So when you hear, like, this is a corporate store, it means that the actual company with the brand, like Under Armour, actually runs the store. Yeah. Right? For us, we nearly deal with almost all small business owners. Right? So when you're going to get hired or doing other stuff, when you're applying for a franchise, you're dealing with a local guy who's got a family and people, and like he's in the community and stuff like that. So people talk to each other.
It's a guy.
It's just a guy.
It's just a guy.
It's not a faceless corporation trying to steal your money. But it's important information.
No, yeah.
So he met with a franchisee, essentially small business owner, and she was telling me like this guy loved him. He's like, he's gung ho. I was trying to hire him for a stretcher position, just somebody who would deliver the stretches. Not running a business, not running a unit, not in charge of staff, not in charge of people. He goes, he liked him so much, he was going to make him a GM. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, whatever. I didn't like him, but hey, if he saw something I didn't, cool. She goes, "Do you want to know what happened?" I was like, of course. So he went to training, and he was pushing some buttons left and right. Mm-hmm. He was getting a little too close to the women.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is?
What are we allowed to say and not say?
I would use code if you can. I mean,
he was trying to beach a ship.
You don't have to go that far, code. Yeah. Or you can use medical terms. You could
medical terms.
Yeah, if medical terminology, if you'd like.
His scrotum. Don't make me use medical terminology. The long story short, he was putting bits of his body way too close to women.
That was well said. Good job. He landed it.
And he was also trying to ask people out to dinner at training, which is a big no-no. He got flagged for sexual harassment.
Big surprise. Who could have seen that coming?
For sake of me not knowing the situation, not wanting to discuss legal things and about a company that's running, that's where the story ends. I have no idea what else happened to him, but that is definitely big old weirdo putting his bits in places that he should not.
It's a solid GM. Yeah, if I've ever heard one.
Hey, listen here, sweetheart. If you want a really good stretch, I can't do it. No, for me personally, it would drive me up a wall. I'm a big zero tolerance guy. Like, listen, you don't mess with my staff, you don't mess with me, you don't mess with my clients. Like, it needs to be professional all the way around. That kind of stuff is like, I'll stay away from that with a 10-foot pole. Mm-hmm. Client story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, client story. There is this woman, which I will not name. But she came to us in a weird way. She came to us actually as a referral because people knew us. She actually walked into the facility through the back door, which was very weird. Imagine just like working one day and somebody walks into the office like, "Hey, are you guys the stretch place?"
Yeah. He's pointing to this. Yeah. It's in the name.
Well, most people walk through the front door. And you're like, "Hi, how are you? Welcome. Have you done this before?" Blah, blah, blah. So she's like walking through people as they're stretching, like, "Hey, hello." And I'm like, okay. She just happened to be in the plaza, walk through the back door, and we didn't catch it, which is fun.
Yeah.
It happens every now and then. But that being said, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just I thought she was just eccentric.
Harmless.
Yeah, harmless. Like, some people are like that, where they're a little too friendly, or they just don't know boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. I'm not talking about myself whatsoever. But essentially, we started working with her consistently, and I stretched her the first time, and she seemed like it was perfectly fine. She was a little bit different, but nothing that rang alarm bells. As time went on, she was missing payments, like other issues were popping up. We were running into like credit card billing issues too, where she would like give me a credit card in front of me and be like, run this, blah, blah, blah. And she'd be past due like 2 or 3 weeks. So we would sit down and try to have conversations with her. Like, hey, come on, like, can't be doing this. We're trying to do you a solid. We're working with you. We've stretched you a couple times and you haven't paid. Always accept payment up front.
No IOUs.
No IOUs. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Unless you know the person really, really well. So, lo and behold, there's times where I'm like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. Like, either you pay and you start working with my staff. So she started working with some of my staff. And then I got a couple texts and phone calls, and they were like, hey, so so-and-so's acting a little weird. I'm like, how weird? Well, she told me her car was broke down. And she told me that she wanted me to drive her home.
Oh.
Yeah, one of my male practitioners. And I'm like, I don't know. Stretch Zone's not an Uber. So I'm wondering what else is going on here. Push came to shove. She actually tried that multiple times. My staff didn't tell me until like the second time that it happened, and that was at the level of unacceptable for me, right? We never figured out if anything was. It's the only client that I've ever fired in the history.
And you're not really certain if the intentions were there, but you got a pretty good idea.
If you are getting stretched at 7:30 to 8 p.m., which is our last closing appointment for the night, and you are sticking around afterwards asking for a ride home multiple times from the same person, when I know you have a working car,
A little sus.
very sus.
Very.
Very sus.
Very sus.
I've been lucky enough to say that's probably like the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. We've had a couple creeps.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I've actually had a creep miss a bill, and I just said, don't worry about it. Don't ever call him again. It was too creepy. I didn't want him around.
Wow. Yeah, just ate the cost and was like, fuck it.
Most people spend anywhere from like $200 to $400 a month with us. I will happily eat $200 any day of the week to keep any one of the women in my facility safe.
That's good.
Yeah.
Ethics alone. And again, good business practice in general. God, I always see people mistreat good employees. It's weird, man.
For the money.
Well, not for the money, but for the sake to keep like like the whole squeaky wheel gets the oil kind of thing, where there's just this one pain in the ass employee that is causing a lot of problems, but even the manager or the boss is just kind of like, what do you want me to do? Right. And they'll put the other employees through hell, the ones that are actually, it's horrible business practice. Like, if you have good employees, keep them happy.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, that's it.
From a business standpoint too, I'm a stretcher, but essentially more of a business operator than I am a stretcher
at this point. I mean, yeah.
But essentially, most of what you do around business is maintaining relationships, right? Both on the client side and both on the employee side. Nothing kills a business more than catering to people who don't produce in results or in culture.
Yeah.
Right. If they don't make your business better, if they don't make your employees work harder, if they don't make your people really work with you, if you have a terrible team culture, it will completely destroy your business.
Yeah.
Right. Don't reward people who are not helping you. Don't reward people who are not contributing to the team. right? And don't let people get away with stuff, because there's a quote from somebody that I watch very dearly that says, you will get what you tolerate.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah.
Yeah, my dear grandmother has a great saying that's very similar to that. It's we teach others how to treat us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good old Mimiism. So, we can hop into this next one here. This is
to Mimi.
To me, to dear old Mimi. This is the melon ball.
No.
Like that? What are the medical advantages to getting stretched?
There's a variety. So increased circulation, increased flexibility, range of motion, decreased pain depending on like stressors. So I say that in a very broad sense. Increased athletic ability. That was me.
Those were all you.
Were they all me?
Yes.
Oh no!
I said that.
I threw you out. I threw you under the bus. I'm
said
so
that.
sorry.
It's okay. What are the advantages?
Yes. So the advantages. Increased flexibility, range of motion, athletic ability, increased circulation, decreased pain level if it's an irritated or strained muscle. Those are the main points, essentially. There's a bunch of other stuff that I can go into in the actual science of stretching, because there's other really cool concepts like PNF stretching or proprioception and other things like that increase somebody's ability or increases somebody's quality of life depending on how we apply them and what we do. So, but that would be like the general range. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people might say that, it falls under, I don't think this, but I'm saying that it could fall under like pseudoscience, like not necessarily saying any of these are, but they can be perceived as such, like acupuncture and things like that.
In regards to stretching, absolutely not.
No, I don't think so. But
right.
I'm sure that you
right.
sometimes get that, where it's like, well, why don't I need this?
Yeah. So stretching within itself is a very documented process that anyone can go into Google Scholar and go learn about like the effects of stretching on somebody's body. Like there are people who study this for a long period of time. It definitely helps people, right? That's not up for debate.
Yeah.
That being said, there's a concept of what things are when we do stuff to other people, or when we involve ourselves in other people. So let's use medicine for an example.
Sure.
Like if I'm going to take Advil, right? It is a thing that I put in my body that creates an effect when it's absorbed into my bloodstream.
Correct.
And it interacts with other stuff in my body.
Right.
Right? So I can measure that. I can take a blood test before and after, and then I can sit down with you and say, how do you feel? Right? There are two parts of that. The blood test is what we call quantitative.
Right.
Right? Quantitative means I have data, I can count, I have difference from X value to Y value.
Here it is, black and white. Boom.
Exactly.
Here.
Then you have qualitative data. Yeah. Qualitative is, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Stretching relies inherently on qualitative data. Right? When we're talking about like on a treatment by treatment basis. Now, that being said, is there quantitative data with stretching? Absolutely there is. It's just much harder because the application isn't usually used for the quantitative things. Right? If you told me the only reason that people are stretching is because I want my range of motion to go from X degree to Y degree, so there's something called like your hamstring extension, which I'm not wearing shoes. Is feet a problem on your podcast? It's an internet thing. Does it matter to you?
I might get clicks, so go ahead.
Okay, because my feet, awesome. Okay. Yeah. So if I pull my leg up like this, my hamstring extension, right, is an actual number from a baseline of neutral. So there's, I'm going to stand up real quick.
Okay.
So there's like an idea of neutral, negative, and positive with range of motion. So if I squat like this at 90 degrees, that's a neutral position for my hip. If I'm above it, that's a positive position. If I'm below it, that's a negative position. Right? So we base things off of like neutral to positive when we're measuring. So if I lift my leg up from a neutral position above 90 degrees, That's like, okay, you have X amount of degrees of range of motion. That's the quantitative part. Stretching definitely helps with the quantitative range of motion test. It does not help. The only time it helps with pain, which is what most people purchase our service for, is qualitative. How do you feel before? How do you feel afterwards?
Yeah,
different for everybody.
People are mostly just coming in and being like, this hurts, I want it to feel better.
Yes.
I mean, bottom line, there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and whatever you can do to solve that.
Yeah.
Without, you know...
Without what?
Without absolutely maiming them. Because
this is true. Yeah. No popped hamstrings, no injuries, no deaths. I greet everybody the same way. Hi, I'm Will from Stretch On. We'll be working together. We're going to go through this intake and waiver form. By the way, when you sign this, okay, it's in case I turn you into a pretzel or I kill you today.
You don't say, like, my name is Will. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
My name is Will and I will break you.
You don't greet them like that?
I should, probably. Yeah. They'd get a good laugh out of it.
Let's hop into this next one. This is the
Blue Boys.
Blue Boys, or Blue Balls.
You have 2 balls on your set, by the way.
I noticed that like 3 episodes in, and I was like, what did I do?
Read the subtext. There's something else going on here.
It was on my mind.
What happens when the balls go away?
Well, you might lose something.
You might have to overcompensate.
Yeah. I'll have to add more ball shots.
This is the tequila taco.
Speaking of which, leads me into my next question here.
Somehow, somewhere.
Somehow, kind of, yeah. What are your demographics look like? Well, you know, you have...
How does that correlate with a taco?
What do you mean? What does the taco represent, Will? In your analogy.
Okay, so in this taco graph, this is the amount of people that come in.
We're talking about balls and tacos?
I'm not going to talk about balls and tacos when I talk about my target demographic.
Yeah, what's your target demographics? Is it balls or tacos?
Sedentary work, 55 and older with lower back pain. That's our target demographic. For a multitude of reasons, I can go on the business side or I can go on the technical side. Which one do you want first?
Let's hear the technical side.
So the technical side is that's the person that tends to have the highest level of pain that we can actually treat on a first-time visit basis. And actually write up a program that I can say with like 99% certainty that they're going to enjoy the service and feel better from using it. Now, that being said, a lot of people have a lot of different issues. Sometimes it's structural, which is like, I think, bone, nerve, right? Sometimes it's just muscular, right? And that's what I tend to look for, is like a muscular issue. Yeah. So that's who we provide the most value to.
Now, it doesn't hurt that they probably also have the disposable income to go after something like that.
So, talking about the business side, right? Great way to kill your business is to go after clients who have no money. Never, ever start a resume building company for people who are looking for entry level positions. Because guess what those people have? $0.
Yeah.
And then what do they get to do with it?
Sure.
And it's just a business principle. If you're going to pick a client, make sure they have enough money to pay for your services.
Well, I mean, it is also helpful that, yes, your target demographic is the people who are probably going to be having that joint pain, muscle pain.
Right.
You know.
But there's another layer to this as well. And it's having like a really good understanding of like why people are using your service. So because Stretch On as a company is still relatively new, and there are other stretching concepts. There's like a Stretch Sesh, there's Stretch Lab. What they're called assisted stretching companies that will essentially help you with like mobility, flexibility goals and things that you're trying to achieve. But each one has their own unique spin thing. We have a proprietary strap system. That's why we're unique and different. I can definitely say, like, clinically speaking, there are more people with serious conditions that can work with us versus like other companies. But that being said, people are using our services for 3 reasons. you don't want to stretch by yourself, you don't know how, or you're physically incapable of. Those are the 3 reasons. The stretching that we do is not unique on any level, right? Other than the proprietary strap system.
Sure.
It's more unique to the employee because they have to learn a system of how to stretch people. But everybody's got the same muscles, right? So there's only so many ways you can move the body. So if you're in pain and you have a muscular issue, the only reason why you can't treat it is a lack of information. You don't know how to treat it.
Yeah.
Right? So people come in and they learn how. But really, when they realize that they have to stretch every single day on a 15 to 20 minute increment, just to get the same result that we can, doing it once a week on the 30-minute increment, they're more inclined to not only work with us, but to pay us to work with them.
Sure.
Right? Because it's just not worth their time. Listen, there are people who are CPAs, there are people who've got lives to deal with, right? Professional careers. They did not go to school for anatomy and physiology.
Yeah, like athletes.
Yeah.
You know, like I know you've had a couple bigger athletes yourself. I know that we've talked about a couple of them.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
The one for sure.
I for the sake of not sharing names, but I mean, like you're talking about like MMA fighters, professional athletes in both the NHL, NFL, MLB. Yeah.
Right, and that's a different demographic than the 75-year-old lady who can't move her shoulders. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, different.
Who are you thinking about there?
Different scope.
Absolutely. No, there's way different scope. Everything's individualized. So when somebody walks through my doors, it's not like, so you're getting the 30-minute regular back stretch, right? No, it's like, I know what your problem is. We're going to be doing this sequence of stretches. I have about 2 hours worth of work I can do. I have to hone it down to a half hour that's useful.
It's very personalized.
Yes. Always.
You know, not just, we're going to give you the whole body stretch down. And it's like, no, it's just my shoulders, dude. Like,
right. If it wasn't personalized, go do a yoga class.
Yeah.
That's really the answer.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, too. There are people who come in who are seeking our services. They can't afford it. And I'm very open and honest. You have 3 choices, right? I'm going to give you a book called The Supple Leopard. Affiliated with them.
Me?
It's called The Supple Leopard.
Supple Leopard?
Yes.
Okay.
Suppel. I don't know how to spell leopard. L-E-P.
It's leopard.
Leopard?
Leopard.
Okay, so leopard. Supple Leopard is a book. It's a $32 book on Amazon. You can buy the hardcover. Right? It's got a sequence of information in the front that teaches you how to move your body properly and an index on the back that teaches you how to take care of it, right? They're doing like stretching bands. It's like, what's so fucking funny? What's got you all bent out of essentially, you can take care of yourself if you read the book. If you could afford yoga classes or Pilates and other stuff like that, that'll be beneficial as well. Go do that.
Where it's like a class of people doing pretty general togetherness.
Exactly.
Like unified stretching. Or
range of motion stretching, yoga, mobility work if you want to be super general.
Sure.
It's a group of people. You get what you pay for, really. I mean, you're in a group, you're not getting personal attention. So if you pay $20-$30 to do a yoga class, that's what it is.
That's like buying the at-home DVD of like one of those workout things, and then instead just going to a personal trainer.
Yes, the personal trainer is going to cost more.
Yeah,
I'm the personal
big
trainer.
Surprise.
Yeah, like that's how it be. Yeah. I'm sorry if you're gonna.
But man, sometimes you can't put a price on that. You know, you getting the attention of what you actually need.
In 2 different scenarios, person A, person B. Person A comes in, tries the service, says, oh man, I feel better, but I'm going to try to do this on my own. Mm-hmm. Cool. Person B says, hey, this is great. This is exactly what I need. You're working on my lower back. I want to continue to work on it. All right. Person A and B both have the same level of knowledge on the body. Person B is going to continue to improve because our job is to make sure that you are improving. And if you're not improving, you should probably cancel our service.
Yeah. Right?
That's why we get paid. We're an out-of-pocket service. We don't take insurance, which is a big misconception around like health services and fitness and stuff like that. If profit motive says that if I don't take care of you, you don't feel better, you don't stay at my facility. Person A says, I'm going to try it by myself. They might be able to do it on the small percentage. There's probably like a 2 to 10% chance that they read the book, they actually follow through, they build a routine around it, and they do it, and they're diligent, right? 90% of the time, no, they just go home, they don't do it. That's why physical therapy has some issues, because it requires homework sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? So the question is that really what you're doing is you're paying for a result. You're not paying for my time. And a lot of people get that twisted. They're like, oh, we're going to do 12 sessions over a 3-month span, right? And they're like, okay, cool. I'm paying like $55 a visit. I'm like, no. You're paying me to help you with your back.
Yeah.
Right? It may take me 8 sessions. It might take me 12. But you're paying me to help you with your back. You're not paying me for 8 sessions of my time.
Yeah.
It's backwards, essentially. It's like, oh, I had somebody argue with me about like whether or not Pilates... It was like they didn't want to come back to our facility because Pilates was cheaper. I was like, did Pilates fix your problem? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, what are we talking about?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go into our last one. This is the Sailor Sunrise.
Are we gonna watch the sunrise together?
Good. We got a couple hours for that.
Yeah, I'm not watching it now. Just like head down.
What is it like to not only manage like a group of employees, but manage multiple stores? Because I know that's something that you do.
Yes. It's a hell of a lot of responsibility. I love the level of responsibility that I have. I got to experience what was basically the same responsibility of a business owner without the risk. Which is probably the most valuable lesson I've ever learned in my life. You okay over there? Or are you on steady ground?
Sorry,
No, you're fine.
Okay. I'm sorry.
He better be. No, I learned a lot of valuable lessons from it. It's a hell of a responsibility. There's something really nice about understanding that there's like a group of people that are responsible. How do I put this? You are responsible for a group of people's success, like on a grand scale.
Sure.
On the micro, like I get to meet and interview these people and bring them on board, and I get to see them grow within the company, develop new skills, do other things, and I literally help them through that process. And if I feel like I believe in you, I get to make that choice and say, "You're the guy. I think you're going to do it. I think you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and that's why I'm putting you in this position." And of course, I don't get to decide unilaterally. I need to talk to franchise owners and other people like that. But that's the only people I talk to is a franchise owner, and then I'm the next decision maker.
Yeah.
So I get to develop people, which is a lot of fun.
So
for me.
it's a lot more hands-on than you would expect.
I am salaried, and I work probably, and this is just a guess, like 60 to 65 hours a week, just because I'm responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Right? If something goes wrong, people are calling
it's
me.
You.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening. Luckily enough, the better I get at my job, the less people need to call me. So
Sure.
it's pretty nice, actually.
That's true.
And other people take responsibility and they take charge, and my job is to facilitate success.
Yeah.
That's about it. Like, what was the part of the original question? Like the responsibilities and things.
Well, the difference between like managing just a couple employees at one store, like versus managing an entire like set of stores. You know what I mean?
One store typically will have up to 7 or 8 structures, or like technicians, providers. There's 4 that I oversee, plus a call center in Colombia that helps us with our flow of leads and other things like that. Between the totality, offhand, probably around 30 to 40 people that I'm responsible for. The team portion of it is fantastic. Love it. I love people getting together, brainstorming, figuring out solutions to problems, understanding that they all share like a common goal, that they're all trying to earn money. Like, let's not get it twisted. It's a job.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, like most people that work with us, I get the luxury of dealing with people who are not looking for money. They're looking for knowledge. They're looking for experience. They're looking for a place that they want to be at for a little bit longer before they move on to the next thing. So they're very ideologically motivated versus money motivated. Fantastic for me. So those people, they want to learn. They want to grow. They want to get better. They're just not used to it in a business environment.
It's like the turnover rate for that high, though. If you're getting people that are going in there for the sake of learning and then kind of being like, okay, I'm ready to move on,
For the sake of not speaking about other units and other people within the company, I can safely say that I believe our turnover rate is probably 2 or 3 times better than the company average.
Really?
It's just by the people that we choose, right, and what we offer them.
Okay.
We do offer benefits, and we do choose a certain type of person that we employ.
Sure.
So those people tend to stick with us longer because, number one, what else are they going to do with their time? Because they're working towards a similar goal anyway. And the next thing is that they really appreciate what we're providing to them, which is like a certain set of skills that you wouldn't have access to unless you were able to do the job yourself. So
Incentive.
yes.
Yeah, to stick around.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the kids that we tend to hire all want to become physical therapists. The thing is that you could be the best physical therapist in the world. If you don't know how to talk to people, you're never going to make money.
True.
That's really... for everybody who goes into communications is like, my degree is meaningless. Your degree is one of the most essential things that you could ever have. Being a communications major, understanding how to talk to people is one of the most valuable skills on the planet.
I've definitely I've learned that for sure. And I saw like a study a little while ago that like all of the like billionaires' kids and stuff, all those kids, they all go into communications because they know they already have the secret sauce, as you might say.
Business itself.
Business.
Business. Whiskey is business. Where's money come from?
I mean, people.
Fantastic answer. So if I want to get somebody's money, what do I got to do?
You have to provide something.
No, I don't actually have to, because they're businesses that literally provide nothing and still make money. They're called brokers. They're called brokers. Damn. No. But in a real sense, they manufacture and maintain relationships is what brokers do, right? Because they connect people with other people. So what do you need to if people are the source of business and money, what do you need to do with people? Starts with the C.
Convince?
No. Not even. Half the time. Sometimes you don't even need to convince them. Sometimes they're already convinced. What do you need to do? Communicate.
Boom! I got it!
We did it! Woo! You need to communicate with them. How else are you going to know what their problems are? How can you solve them? How can you help them? What else can you do with them? It's communication.
It was like that whole bit in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, sell me this pen?
Yeah.
Sell me these glasses.
Well, yeah,
I want to see what your skills are. Sell me these glasses. Why do I need these glasses?
You don't need those.
Why?
I'll be honest with you.
Oh, no, but why? Let's assume these are real glasses. Sell me on these
that
glasses.
They are real?
They're real.
Okay, because I was going to say, well, for one, they weigh 2 pounds, and they have no lenses in them.
Pretend like they're real glasses. They're real glasses, okay? Real glasses.
If you had a lack of vision, they would help you see.
Okay, would they really? If I just so happen to have a lack of vision.
Oh, then these are perfect for you.
Okay,
Yeah, they'll make your life so much better. Yeah, they go on. There you go. The first person to actually put them on, and they've been here all season.
Okay, I can see better.
It looks like it.
Oh my god, you've sold me.
Yeah. Now give me $500.
No, but in a serious sense, that's very much what the bit is from Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
It's one of those, sell me this pen. Here, I need you to write something. You provide a reason, right, to have it. Somebody comes in, I have lower back pain. I've got a solution. Are you lazy? Yes, I'm lazy. Okay, cool. You could work on this solution yourself, but really we're here to do it to you so you don't have to think about it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Is this what you're looking for? Person goes, no, it's not what I'm looking for. Okay, what are you looking for? Can I provide that? Mm-hmm. If the answer is no, then I'm sorry. Let me refer you to somebody who can.
Yeah.
Right. That's the role of like a good communicator, a good salesman. That's why those people tend to do well.
Yeah.
If you know how to communicate, you'll do very well for yourself.
Beautiful sentiment to leave us on there.
Absolutely. Communicate better. Stop sucking.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. We're a couple shots deep.
All right. Well, you have anything else to add on, or? I don't know. We're not done with our drinks. I mean,
I don't know. We're not done with our drinks. I mean, we're not done with our drinks.
We can finish them off camera. It's okay.
Do you have any questions that have dawned on you from the beginning of this session that you didn't ask before?
No, because I believe I probably asked them in the other episode we did.
Okay, I gotcha.
But
is there anything else about what I do that you would like to know about?
yeah, do you ever get excited while you're stretching someone?
Excited how?
You know.
No. Well, I'm at work.
You asked me.
I'm a working man.
People are gonna want to know.
Listen, we've had attractive clients before. And this is something that happened to me very early on in my career, and I never wanted to be this person. I'm not naming names. I'm not putting anyone out there. I don't like to disparage people. I had a particular person who was part of... this is when I started as just a stretcher, right? They were in charge of me, and they had a client walk in, get stretched, walk out. And by the way, they're no longer with the company, so I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. And they pulled me aside and they showed me they were like, hey, check out so-and-so's Instagram, the client that they just stretched. And there was a part of me that was like, come on, dude. Like, we're here to work. Like, don't do this. Don't do this to your clients. Don't do this. Don't sexualize the workplace. It's not.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's
okay.
like I get.
I thought it was just kind of like a hey, look who I got. You know. Like,
yeah. No.
Okay.
It's not like it's check out how stacked so and so.
I see. Okay. I thought it was a lot more innocent than
no.
You. Okay.
No.
Got it. Same page.
As if they got props for working with them.
Oh. Yeah. That's icky.
It's a little icky.
Yeah.
It's a little icky. And I'm not naming names, and I'm not putting anyone out there, and they're not with the company anymore, so I'm not worried about that stuff. But the thing is like, I take my... How would I put this? My reputation very, very seriously. I help people for a living. And for a second, if you don't trust me, that completely destroys everything that I've ever built. So, understand that the things that you do and the reputation that you build will live with you literally forever. And don't do something you're going to regret. Even for a second. Like, always think, if I'm going to do this thing, how I feel about it in 10 to 20 years from now. If the answer is icky, don't fucking do it.
Don't fucking do it.
Don't fucking do it.
Don't fucking do it.
Yeah. Don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
There's somebody else that I'm thinking about right now, which I cannot speak about, literally, for like actual reasons, because I know exactly what happened and I know who they are and what's going on. And it's icky.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's not with the company or anything like that. But it's just like...
I see.
It's just like, nah, man. Why do that?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's not fucking worth it. How do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, sticking around for the whole show, hopefully.
Do we have anything after this? Do you have an after party? After watching?
I mean, it'll just be the two of us. We can make it a party.
Cue the song. Boom, boom, boom. Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next one.
Say it with your chest.
We'll see you in the next one. Be there.
Bye.
Bye-bye.